Good YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. How y'all feeling out there? I'm feeling good. We're just gonna get right into this video. Let's go.
What's happening is actually pretty simple, and to do it, I just need some hand sanitizer. Then I lit the whole thing on fire using a lighter. Now what you're left with is a flame that's almost completely invisible in daylight. This is happening because burning ethanol doesn't produce any carbon particles, aka soot, which you would get by burning something like paper. Usually these particles are heated and they would create that typical orange glow, so without them, we get this invisible fire effect. What I think is really cool is that there actually is still a flame, and if I turn the lights off, you can actually see it. It burns blue and doesn't have any of that typical burning smell, and when I turn the lights back on, I still couldn't believe it was even there.
I literally don't even see it.
Here's how to get kids off their phones and into some cool science stuff. First, try this simple experiment. Light a candle in a dish of water, then spray a bit of alcohol into an overturned bottle near the flame. Watch as the water in the dish gets sucked up into the bottle. That's atmospheric pressure in action. Next, sprinkle some fine sand on a plate and pour some alcohol on it. Add sugar and baking soda in a 4-1 mix, then light it up. You'll see a cool black snake-like thing emerge from the sand. Now grab a battery.
Hey, that's pretty cool. It looks like the fireworks. Is it the burning schoolhouse? And it turns into like a wormy looking thing.
Cylindrical magnet. Place the battery on top of the magnet, then add another coil of wire to make a loop. When you pass current through it, the coil will start spinning. That's how electric motors work. Next, start by adding a few drops of cooking oil to water. They'll blend to form a large circle. Then, dip a cotton swab in detergent and tap the center of the oil ring. Watch as it instantly transforms into a hollow ring. Roll up a piece of white paper into a cylinder and position it diagonally. Light the closed upper end and marvel as the smoke cascades downwards into a cup like a miniature waterfall. Finally, sharpen 2 pencils at both ends and immerse them halfway into the water. With a 9-volt battery, touch the leads of the pencils separately. Witness how the pencil leads generate tiny bubbles continuously. That's water electrolysis in action.
The most terrifying experiment in the history of science, the Universe 25 experiment, used a mouse colony to explore human societal behaviors. Scientists created a utopian environment for the mice, with abundant food, water, nesting materials, and space. Initially, the mouse population thrived and grew rapidly. However, social issues soon emerged. The mice became aggressive, territorial, and antisocial. Female mice exhibited increased aggression, isolation, and a lack of reproductive interest, leading to low birth rates and high juvenile mortality. A new class of male mice, dubbed beautiful mice, appeared. These males refused to mate or fight for territory, focusing solely on eating and sleeping. Eventually, beautiful males and isolated females dominated the population. As the experiment continued, juvenile mortality hit 100% and reproduction ceased entirely. Unusual behaviors and increased violence were observed despite the abundance of resources. John Calhoun conducted this experiment 25 more times with the same results each time.
This isn't magic. It's real mini experiments. Pour cooking oil into a glass, add some water, drop in a bit of food coloring, toss in an effervescent tablet, wait a moment, and you'll see a spectacular simulated volcano eruption. Mix sugar and dish soap in a cup, stir well, and you can blow bouncy, unbreakable bubbles. Give it a try yourself.
Oh, that's cool.
Put an egg in white vinegar, soak it for a day and night, then take it out, rinse off the surface, and you'll have a translucent, elastic century egg. If you put a ping pong ball in water, it floats normally. But place it at the bottom of a funnel, pour in water, and you'll find the ball doesn't float up. No matter how you bend memory metal, once it's placed in hot water, it instantly returns to its original shape. Add fine sand to a plate, pour in some alcohol, sprinkle a 4-to-1 mix of sugar and baking soda, light it up, and a mysterious black substance rises from the ground. That's the famous Pharaoh's serpent experiment.
That is hot ice, or supersaturated sodium acetate. It remains in the liquid form until a nucleation site, or a thing for crystals to form around, is introduced. Like this TikTok symbol. That's really good.
This ain't no magic trick. These science experiments will blow your kid's mind. Cross 2 forks and stick a toothpick in the middle, and you'll master the art of balancing like a pro. Stick some tape on a balloon's surface, poke it with a needle, and that balloon just won't pop, no matter what. Use a silver needle to prop a candle on a glass. Light both ends, and watch that candle happily play seesaw all by itself. Arrange 3 matches like they show in the video, right on the edge of a table, and the support they create is enough to hold up a whole bottle of water. With a scrap piece of paper, you can seal the water in a glass tight. Do you know why? Squeeze the ink from a highlighter into some white vinegar, drop a fresh chicken egg in there, wait overnight, and that plain rooster egg will turn into a glowing one. Sprinkle a few grains of table salt on the table, and you'll be able to stand a rooster egg up easily. You can explain science 100 times, but it's nothing compared to doing an experiment with your kid. Get them to put down their phone and fall in love with science.
I think science, especially in class, would have been so much better because look at the experiments you're doing. We didn't do any experiments like that. We were doing, I don't know, we're doing some weird stuff, but nothing close to these cool things.
When you mix baking soda and vinegar, it creates carbon dioxide gas bubbles. Now let's take it up a notch. Pour vinegar into a bottle, then funnel baking soda into a balloon. Stretch the balloon over the rim of the bottle, then lift it up. When the baking soda mixes with the vinegar, carbon dioxide is created and then captured by the balloon. Carbon dioxide has the ability to suffocate a flame. So I'm gonna release this CO2 into a graduated cylinder, pour it over the candle, and see what happens. There you go, a DIY fire extinguisher. Try it for yourself with adult supervision and follow for more science videos.
The power of science can be quite remarkable. Here's a surprising one for you. Wrap a key at each end of a wire and point it towards the positive and negative poles of a dry battery. You've created a homemade electric heater thanks to the law of resistance. Cut off the bottom of an empty beverage bottle and place a balloon on it. You can then extinguish a candle from a distance or even create homemade smoke bubbles. Fill the bottle with water, cover it with a card, and turn it upside down. The water remains securely sealed inside, defying gravity. Rub the straw with toilet paper a few times, then bring it close to a stream of water. The water will bend. This is the result of static electricity. Spray some alcohol into an empty bottle, then flip it upside down onto a burning candle. You'll see the unique phenomenon known as the long Z water trick. If a straw can't pierce a potato, simply press its top and give it a firm poke. The potato will yield. This demonstrates the power of compressed air. Using an iron nail to punch a hole in the bottom of a bowl would typically break it. However, if you place the bowl in water, you can easily create a perfect round hole. This is due to the buffering force of water. By inserting a chip and a copper sheet into an apple and connecting them with wires in series, you can power an electronic watch.
You probably know that when you stick a prism in sunlight, it splits up the white light into its constituent colors. But do you know why this happens? Refraction plays a role here, but it's only part of the story. It's the fact that the glass refracts different colors stronger than others that gives the rainbow, because if it refracted them all the same, you just get white light back out. This effect is called dispersion. It's usually a bad thing in optics, although it certainly can be useful. Pretty cool, right?
Now watch what happens when I drop in this heavy metal nut. It sinks right down to the bottom, but when I drop in this grape, which isn't quite as dense, it sinks down through the top 2 layers and sits on top of the syrup. This bottle top slowly sinks down through the oil and sits on the water, and this piece of sponge floats on the top. Pretty cool, huh? They've all got different densities. Because this syrup is denser than the water, it sinks to the bottom. Then pour in some cooking oil and leave it to settle.
This isn't magic. It's a real science experiment.
Oh,
Burn
that's
the egg
cool.
black on a candle and then put it in clean water. The egg turns into a shiny silver one. It's the principle of light bending. Rub the glass on the mouth of a beer bottle a few times while no one's watching. Beer spills out with just one sip. That's how atomic bombs explode. A bowl breaks easily when put in water, but it can make a perfect round hole. That's the power of water's cushioning. It's hard to poke a straw into a potato, but if you block one end with your hand, it can easily pierce through. That's the power of compressed air. Pour some alcohol into sand, add sugar and baking soda, then light it up. It's a magical sight. It's like summoning Pharaoh's ancient
Yeah, I like
snake.
this one the
Mix
best.
baking soda and vinegar in a cup, approach a candlestick, and easily extinguish all the candles. That's using fire extinguishers. Push a lit candle into water with a cup, and it keeps burning. Do you know why? Put frozen strawberries into super cooled water and they freeze instantly. It's like turning a little water into ice. Fill a cup with water and notice how the arrow changes direction. It's the
What?
principle of concave and convex mirrors. Place a base plate on top of a magnet, spin a top, and slowly lift the base plate. The top keeps spinning in the air. That's magnetic levitation. Surround a coin with 6 dry batteries, wave your hand gently, and watch the coin turn as if by magic. Feel the peeled garlic with your fingers. You can separate the yolk from the egg white with your hands. It's called disulfide splash.
Is water a good conductor of electricity? Normally, water is a great conductor of electricity unless you have pure water, distilled or deionized water. You'd find that in a lab. Water that doesn't have the salts and minerals to carry the electrons from one probe to another. Look at the situation that we have here. I have 2 bare wires on either side of this. They come up and around, hooked to the electricity over here and to this light bulb. So when I turn it on like this and I put it down in the water, the light bulb should light up. There's electricity here, but it's not working at all. Not until we add a mineral. So remember, that's pure water. Watch what happens when we add. Look at this. You start to see it glowing. Look at this. And there it is. So it's the ions in the water that carry the electricity from one probe to the next, and that's why water is so conductive.
So remember that. So when we have a power outage or any type of outage, there's your light. And it's so weird we have to pay for electricity when you can actually get it free.
These are the amazing mini experiments that can get kids to put down their phones and fall in love with science. Interlace 2 books like shuffling cards, and they can lift a large jug of mineral water. That's the magic of friction. Pour baking soda and vinegar into a cup. It'll create carbon dioxide gas. This invisible gas can actually extinguish 2 rows of burning candles, demonstrating the principle behind fire extinguishers. A dented ping pong ball can be restored to its original shape just by soaking it in hot water. Using just a piece of toilet paper, you can filter dirty water into usable clean water in the wild. That's capillary action. Did you know? The arrow in a glass of water changes direction due to light refraction. Unbreakable bubbles are made by mixing sugar and dish soap. Fill a straw with water, place it between 2 cups, and water will flow into the empty cup. This is the siphon effect that farmers use for irrigation.
This isn't magic, it's a real science experiment. Pour some alcohol into sand and sprinkle a mix of baking soda and sugar on it. Light it up. As it burns, it summons a mysterious and stunning pharaoh snake. Fill a straw with water, pinch one end, and raise it between 2 cups. Watch as the water flows from one cup to another, demonstrating the siphon effect. Add colored pigment to milk, then place a detergent-soaked cotton swab in the middle. Witness a dramatic reaction as the milk and pigment blend, creating a beautiful starry sky effect, thanks to the power of liquid surface tension. Add water to a vial and place it upside down in a plastic bottle filled with water. Seal the lid tightly. Now, by squeezing the bottle, you can control whether the vial sinks or floats. This demonstrates the principle of a submarine. Place a transparent cup in front of a girl and pour clean water into it. You'll notice an apparent change in the girl's position. This is due to the principle of light refraction. Mix a little clean water with vegetable oil and add a few drops of pigment. Drop in an effervescent tablet. Carbon dioxide bubbles will form randomly, creating the spectacular scene of an underwater volcanic eruption for you to enjoy. Rub the comb on the balloon a few times, then bring it close to a water flow. Notice how the comb attracts the water, showing the effect of static electricity. Tape a straw to a balloon and thread a rope through the straw. Secure both ends of the rope and release the balloon to see it propelled by the air, demonstrating the power of an air propeller. Attach magnets to the ends of a battery and place it in a copper coil shaped like a spring. Watch as the battery shuttles back and forth, illustrating the principle of an electromagnetic train. Cut a transparent plastic
CERN.
plate into 4 isosceles trapezoids and assemble them with transparent tape to make a shape like the one in the video. Place it over your mobile phone while playing a 3D video to create a simple naked-eye 3D projector.
That's
This
pretty
isn't
cool.
magic. These are real scientific mini experiments. Pour half a bottle of water into an empty soda bottle, tap the bottle's mouth with a hammer, the bottom instantly bursts open. Fold a paper napkin in half, color both ends with colored pencils, dip the ends in water, watch a beautiful rainbow bridge form. Draw a small red heart on a spoon with a whiteboard marker. Put the spoon in water. The heart floats away. Cross 2
No
rows of
way.
nails on top of a nail. Place another nail on top to hold them down. You've mastered the art of balance. Press down on a hairspray can. Place a ping pong ball on top. The ball levitates. Stick a nail into a glass bottle. Use another nail outside. Tap it against the inside nail. You'll make a small hole in the bottle. Drop some ferro fluid on the back of your phone. Place a magnet underneath. You've got a fun magnetic fluid toy. Sand down a soda can until it's smooth. Balance it on chopsticks over a glass. Add drain cleaner crystals to the water. Wait an hour. The can turns into plastic film. 100 science lessons can't compare to doing one experiment with your child. It's the best way to get kids off their phones and engaged with the real world.
Here's what an ice bomb looks like. Physics teachers have used them for years to demonstrate the expansive force of water. When water freezes, it can push out tens of thousands of pounds of pressure. And we fill that with water and then freeze it. So here's one that's been filled with water. Just very slowly release that, lower it in the liquid. You want to grab a chair and pull it over? Get a good seat. So what are the water molecules doing inside that ball right now? Normally they vibrate. Oh!
Hello. That was cool.
That's insane.
Boy.
Jumpy? Oh, dang. Oh, my. That literally split in half.
Look at that. That same force that cracked this iron ball is the same one that makes mountains fall apart over centuries and centuries and centuries. Same thing goes every winter.
Oil and water. If I asked you to come up with a creative way to remove the oil from the water, how would you do it? Think of an oil spill. Now there's things that are out there with sawdust, and you don't want to put soap in there because it breaks it up and sends it all over the place. Think of the animals that are affected. Well, there is a very cool super absorbent polymer out there that is this white powder. It's an oil absorbing polymer called Envirobond 403. Watch what it does. When you sprinkle it on like this, the polymer, the long chain of molecules, hooks onto the oil, absorbs the oil so that you can pick up the oil and take it back on land. Believe it or not, look at this. It's safe, it's non-toxic. Look at this. You can even burn the oil and extract the energy. I want you to share in the comments of ways you could distribute that kind of polymer in a huge oil spill. It's your turn. Look at this, the amazing floating bands. The secret,
okay.
static electricity. Let me show you how to do it. First of all, you've got to build up a static charge, a negative charge. And the way I'm doing it is a piece of fake fur and transferring electrons to this balloon. So that's easy enough. And then the best way to do this is a piece of crinkly plastic, this recycled plastic bag. Cut these into strips so you get this strip like this. Now the secret is you've got to transfer a negative charge to this as well. So we're going to have negative repelling the negative charge. So this is here on the balloon as well. And now I'm going to pick it up using a wooden stick so it doesn't steal the charge away. Look at this. And there it is. It's that simple. It's easy to do the floating band. All you have to use is a little static electricity.
Pretty cool.
I showed you how to make a cool motor where the copper wire spins using a magnet and a battery. What if you could make the magnet spin? That's pretty cool as well. Look at what you'll need. Bigger battery, got it? And this is a screw with a neodymium magnet, all right? Center everything, and now watch what happens. This will hook because of the magnetism like this. And now you're just using the copper wire to carry the electricity down, create a magnetic force, and look at this when you touch. Look at that. You really can get this thing spinning. Look at that. Cool motor. Now, if it's hard to see, hook anything you want to on it like this. I think you should be able to see this. There it is. It will stop, but this one here is going to keep on spinning. Look at this. What a cool way to be able to make a motor using super simple materials you can find at the hardware store.
Don't do this. This is boring. You can see how the water goes up because of the partial vacuum that is created. Do it with alcohol. Just put a little bit of alcohol in the bottle. Look at the difference alcohol makes.
Wow.
If you guys see this video on your For You page, please let me know and follow me to see crazy experiments.
Check out what happens when I pour some glitter onto this water that's being stirred on a magnetic stir plate. Isn't that crazy? The glitter gets caught in the vortex and doesn't get mixed throughout the water. But you gotta check this out. Watch what happens when I add some dish detergent to the glitter in the vortex.
Oh, wow.
Come on, that's beautiful. The soap causes the glitter to leave the vortex and spread into the water. What's seen here is the same effect that's observed when a drop of dish detergent is added to some pepper floating on water. When this happens, detergent molecules spread across the surface, breaking the surface tension of the water and pushing the pepper out of the way. This same experiment can be done using glitter instead of pepper. Now let's watch the original experiment again, up close and in slow motion. Notice that the glitter in the vortex is really just resting on the surface of the water. When the detergent's added, it pushes away the glitter either to the top of the vortex or down into the funnel.
Sodium plus water equals boom. Let's try again. You can see the piece is very small, not even 1 gram. But the effect is boom. Use a smaller piece of sodium for a gentler reaction. It just glides off the surface of the water, releasing hydrogen gas. No boom this time.
This is how you can do this at home. Take hydrogen peroxide and pour some soap inside. If you have potassium iodide at home, that would be the best solution. But if not, use some yeast. Yeast contains an enzyme which breaks hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. This reaction is also exothermic, which means it releases heat. Follow Chip to see more cool chemistry experiments.
Check this out. All you need is one tiny little crystal. That's it. Look at that crystallization happening. Have you ever seen those hand warmers that you click the little tab and it starts to crystallize? It warms up. Look at that. That is the heat of crystallization. It's an exothermic reaction. It's because this chemical right here called sodium acetate trihydrate went from a liquid into a solid. It's a supersaturated solution. So you take the crystals with a little bit of water and you turn it into a liquid like this. It's a supersaturated solution. When it cools, all it needs is a single crystal to go. And that's what we're going to do here. So one more crystal will start the crystallization, and it will turn from a liquid into a solid. Watch. That's it. Look at this, and there it goes. That entire thing starts to grow. Look at how amazing that is and how beautiful that is. Within seconds, the whole thing turns from a liquid into a solid. You turn it upside down and nothing comes out, and it heats up at the same time. It's the secret to the coolest hand warmers you could ever find. Just look at that.
Wow, that's cool. All right. And that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you for tuning in, and if you stayed to the end of the video, thank you. I appreciate all of you, and just remember to, hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment. We'd be very appreciative. Trying to get this channel to grow and the community to grow as well. So other than that, we'll see y'all in the next video. And just remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed. See you in the next video. Peace.